Yeah. Um, I started getting afraid of what I figured out. Like, it started hitting me in waves. Like, when I really got the scope of it. Um, I didn't look into MK Ultra for real until very, very recently, and only because I saw what The Guardian recently wrote about Musk going to a place like this during the 80s in apartheid in South Africa called Veld School. I was like, well, what the fuck was his programming? If I still don't know what our program is, I can't speak for what the fuck might be going on in our country right now. Um, I had started picking out words from the Profit box like bioenergetics a while ago, and that's what made me buy Dianetics, because I just thought that maybe that was something there. The reason why I talked to Ann Peterson on her podcast called Confronting the Line was to explore what Landmark was, because Landmark is the other tie. Like, CEDU was made obviously by Synanon. We know that Synanon is MK. But I've talked to people that were there in the early 70s, and it was vastly fucking different. And it is because somebody added in est in the early 70s. Like, the Profits changed and actually got like names and stuff like that. So when we added in est, that's what Landmark or Lifespring is. Like, when you like hear about people like at their jobs, like going to like seminars in a hotel for like over like 2 weekends, that's Landmark and Lifespring. So that's like the primal scream fucking therapy shit that like John Lennon and John Denver were into. So that's why I started making professional friends with the people that left that cult, the Landmark cult, so that we could have comparisons of what happened, so that we could remember it correctly. Um, and so, when I had to finally start reading like what MK Ultra was, Um, it's like looking at the sun. It's like you can't even read it because it's just so fucking triggering. It's like trying to read, but when I was reading it, it was also kind of like being able to read my own code. It's like, oh, yeah, no shit, this is where all this stuff comes from. Um, but it was the word bioenergetics that fucking really stood out to me. Um, I had to remember that when why I was attached to Paris Hilton the week that I visited as an alumni to be a part of an IME workshop and then to be at a graduation in the June of 1997, it was actually because I was running her fucking pit restriction and I made myself forget that. I forced my brain, when I saw her on the side of a fucking bus, I forced my brain to say, nope, you were not basically staffed to that little girl. Make yourself forget that shit. And I did. Once I remembered that, like a few days ago, after hearing myself I was just on the cult vault. It was the most brilliant thing I've ever done in my fucking life. It was an hour and a half long. It was only supposed to be an hour. We got to absolutely zero questions that we had set out before the interview. I had waited almost 4 years to get on that fucking podcast. Uh, what the fuck was I basically, like, when I started to look at the MK Ultra shit, I'm really glad I did because I waited long enough so that I could fucking decipher it. But it was fucking remembering that there's like this huge imposter syndrome that survivors have. And it was the remembering at CEDU specifically, there was like a room above Emerson where we had just studied Gilgamesh and the Odyssey and Joseph Campbell the Hero Cycle. Because I've been relating my story of telling this fucking tale as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz because it was my stretch in both the Brothers and the Summit. I was Dorothy. So my fucking tale of this fucking documentary is just in my head. I'm Dorothy trying to fucking get to the Wizard of Oz, which is Paris Hilton. Because basically I've been trying to fucking say sorry to Paris for that week that I sat there a year after I graduated and told her to stay at CEDU. I feel fucking guilty that my whole goddamn life. And that's basically why I've been doing this shit. So That is, I'm fucking showing you myself. Like, anybody wants to talk shit about me, I have an invested interest in this because I felt guilt my entire life for fucking knowing why the most like horrible person on the planet who's like stupid fucking, like they make fun of her in South Park. Like there's no. I would tell people that I felt sorry for her when everyone made fun of her all the time because I knew her. So the reason that I'm making this is basically because I felt guilty about the shit of when I was basically staffed to her after I'd left for a week. I felt guilty about that my entire life, so much so that I had to recover that memory before I could remember this other shit. Um, they made us all the schools, from WASP to even schools that are happening right now. I know a girl that is in school that she got resent to the same institution that she's fucking suing. I know people that have been through this that are fucking 21 and that are 10 years older than me, 20 years older than me, and I'm 45. And all of us had studying heroes' journeys like Jonathan Livingston Seagull or the Gilgamesh Joseph Campbell, the hero cycle. One girl had to watch The Greatest Showman on Earth over and over and over and over again. And then the second level is bioenergetics, is these weird fucking psychic training shit. It's like they would make us, imagine a blue ball of energy in your hands, see it like growing small, bigger in size and smaller, feel it, like touch it, play around with it, throw it across the room to somebody. That's what I'm talking about. And it was like when we had to sit cross-legged from each other with our knees touching and hold our hands out. And we had to go like this and imagine that space and that energy. And I know that you fucking remember that because I remember what that fucking felt like in between our hands. All of the schools had shit like that, like WASP. WASP was Walmart Sea-Doo. That's what you guys have to understand. They had a Walmart fast food version of our fucking shit. And instead of the I Want to Live with the Friday night, the fights, like we had that one time, they had that every month or every other month sometimes for unknown amount of hours. It could have been 12 hours, 2 days. They didn't know. They didn't know how long this shit would go on. And that was all the fucking time. That's what these kids had. So that's why I try to tell you people, we had nothing compared to what those kids had. We had our shit fucking confused with like good feelings sometimes or like whatever. Like we had some kind of good. Maybe not so much RMA. Sea-Doo, my campus, we did. RMA is harder because you guys had a really RMA was way worse than fucking Sea-Doo. And I'm sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to say hi because seriously, I was fucking scared as fuck last night. I had to call Elizabeth and I was like, girl, fucking Jesus Christ, because right now, I feel like I'm fucking Neo in the Matrix and I can see everything. And I can't imagine how many times this has happened to survivors where they're like, holy shit, I just fucking figured this shit out. I'm the only one that's figured this shit out. So I'm talking to my other girls and they're like, girl, I was there fucking 15 years ago. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, really? No, you didn't figure this out. Like, yes, we've all figured this out before. And when we do, we feel like it's a scientific discovery and that like we're fucking geniuses. And I was only able to fucking figure this out because of very many people that I was like, hey, and because I have professional colleagues that have been through Landmark and Scientology and Synanon, this is the specific MK Ultra fucking connection. It's the fucking weird psychic shit. I am obsessed with Stephen King and I'm obsessed with that fucking show, Stranger Things. And it is because it was different enough from our shit for it to just feel slightly familiar but not too triggering. But survivors of WASP can't watch Stranger Things. And that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I love you guys. I just wanted to say, we are only going to be okay if we talk about this because this is fucking scary as hell. And yeah, please, I would love for all of you guys to listen to the podcast I was just on the Cult Vault. It's everywhere. It's gonna come out on YouTube soon, so you can fucking hear me talk. So you can hear me do quotes a lot. I don't sound like I'm being sarcastic in a lot of the podcasts, and you can't really tell because you're not seeing me do this on screen. But I love you guys. I see you, Survivor. We're all gonna be okay. Stay the fuck away from a woman named Katie Mack or Catherine McNamara. Anybody that fucking defends these people. I am more afraid of the Barbie bitch cult than any fucking government or institution, and I will fucking die on that. We are basically fighting a fucking cult inside of the Survivor community. And, you know, if I'm willing to fucking tell you that at the end of this, please listen to me. This is not drama or anything other than I know there have been deaths about this shit. So please trust me. I love you. I love you very, very much. I see you, Survivor. I see you, Sea-Doo survivors.